Welcome back to the channel, guys. My name is Gordon Frayne. We are back with another video. Today we're looking at Sui. As always, if you enjoy the content, please make sure to smash that thumbs up button below, hit subscribe, hit that bell notification icon, and you've got a completely free copy of The Rise of Bitcoin linked below this video in the description. Grab it now and let's talk about Sui. So we've had a fantastic breakout for Sui over the past 48 hours or so. If I'm looking at the chart here, we can clearly see a huge couple of green candles here, moving from about $2.18-19 here just to about 24 to 48 hours ago, up as high as $3.06. We're currently sitting at $2.97 after a little bit of a rejection here, getting very close to this 200-day simple moving average. And much of this is being helped or being driven by the fact that Bitcoin itself has had a phenomenal breakout as well. If I'm looking at the Bitcoin chart, we can see that Bitcoin has made a move over the past 2 to 3 days from essentially lows of 84,000 up as high as 94,000. So we've had Bitcoin making a $10,000 move in the past 2 to 3 days, and Sui is following and being somewhat of a leader in terms of making moves as well. That move for Bitcoin on a percentage basis, if we measure from around $84,000 here up to where we're at right now, about an 11 to 12% move. But when we compare that to what Sui is doing on a percentage basis and measuring this move, it is much higher, even just to where we're at right now. That's a 36% move, and we went as high as a 40+% move in the past 48 hours. So Sui has made a phenomenal move. We've been covering this on the channel for the past year and a half. Again, make sure to subscribe below, guys, if you have not subscribed already. This move is pretty significant in my opinion because we've obviously been in a very strong downtrend since these early January highs. Sui did get all the way up to $5.35 here by the time we got to that first week in January. With Bitcoin and the rest of the market pulling to the downside, we have seen Sui moving down here over the course of the past couple of months. And I made another video a couple of weeks ago here talking about this particular breakout. This was technically a nice solid breakout of the downtrend, and we had that happening here by the last week of March. What's very interesting is that we broke out of the downtrend. We came up here to about $2.80, and we came all the way back down, almost a perfect textbook retest of that downtrend, getting that bounce and having that low here by Monday, April 7th. And we started to move up higher, consolidating before this latest larger move to the upside. Again, I think this pause on the tariff situation in the United States is helping here with capital flowing into Bitcoin and crypto and the markets getting a little bit of a bounce. Equities have had a bit of a stronger few days here. We did see lows for equities here back with the S&P on the 7th of April. We have moved to the upside since then as well. Today's candle was higher than yesterday. We've had a 10-11% bounce in the S&P since that same April 7th time period. But jumping back to Sui here, again, you guys know I'm a big fan of Sui on the channel here. I think there's a lot of potential with this price action for Sui over the coming months. It just reminds me so much of Solana from the previous cycle. We did get all the way down, and I had this level of support marked in here at about 166. Interestingly, you can see just how close we wicked down to that 166 level. I think we got as low as about 170 here, and we got very close to that level of support, bounced off it, came back up, and started moving to the upside. The other chart I want to take a quick look at is Sui dominance, because just like I mentioned, Sui has had a 35 to 40% gain in the past 48 hours, which is more than the vast majority of other large cap tokens. Again, Bitcoin is up 10-11%, Solana is probably up 15-20%, Ethereum also making moves as well. But you can see the dominance for Sui in terms of market cap dominance has gotten back up above the 200-day simple moving average as well. Again, if you've been following the channel, you know what I think about Sui dominance. You know I think it has the potential to be getting up to somewhere around this 1% level by the time we reach the peak of the bull cycle. Again, looking at what happened here, last time Sui broke up above that 200-day simple moving average, this breakout here here, all the way back in August, we had the lows here from the unwind of the Japanese yen carry trade happening that first week of August. The last time Sui dominance broke above the 200-day simple moving average, it was the very beginning of this much larger move in terms of dominance, a 400% increase in market dominance for Sui last time it broke above that 200 simple day moving average. I'm not saying that's going to happen this time around, but I do think it bodes pretty well. We're going to have this daily candle for dominance closing in the next 1 hour and 20 minutes here at the time of recording. So if we can close above the 200-day simple moving average, I think that bodes well for us to continue to at least consolidate before continuing to march higher for Sui's dominance. Again, if you're not familiar with dominance, dominance is essentially indicating the fact that we're sitting at 0.33% dominance for Sui right now. That means the total market cap of Sui makes up about 0.33% of total crypto market cap. So total crypto market cap is currently sitting at 2.89 trillion. What it means is Sui's market cap is making up 0.33% of 2.89 trillion. That is the simplest way I can explain it. But if we jump back to the Sui dominance chart one more time, I think the fact that we're getting above this 200-day gives us permission to start inching back to the upside. Of course, with price pulling back over the past couple months and Bitcoin dominance itself moving much, much higher, we've seen assets like Sui moving to the downside in terms of dominance, because if I jump over to the Bitcoin dominance chart, we can see just how much Bitcoin's dominance has been moving to the upside in 2025. So essentially, Bitcoin has been outperforming the vast majority of alts this year so far, but we know that Sui is a front runner. When we have Bitcoin making moves to the upside, it's going to outperform Bitcoin on a percentage basis. The final chart we'll take a look at, and I haven't looked at this in a few weeks myself, is the Sui to Solana chart. Okay, looking at what's happening on the chart here, this is looking like a little bit of a consolidation pattern. Maybe you could argue it's a little bit of a bull flag forming. We might need to get some better data on this particular chart here. Let's do Sui in terms of Sui USD to Tether, and then we can map that against the price of Solana against Tether as well. And what you'll notice here is we have gotten back up above the 200-day on this particular chart as well. And again, not financial advice, just my opinion, guys. I do think Sui has the potential to outperform Solana on a percentage basis. So what we're looking at here is essentially since August of last year, you've had pretty significant outperformance of Sui against Solana. You had price at 0.004 back at the beginning of August. And again, where we're sitting today, 0.019 is a pretty significant increase in the actual ratio chart here between Sui and Solana. I do think it has the potential to keep moving up and to the right here. Of course, that doesn't mean I'm not bullish on Solana. I am. I just think Sui has the capacity to outperform Solana on a percentage basis. And maybe after this bit of consolidation here, we're ready to start moving back up and to the right. So hopefully that's making sense to everyone here. The final thing I will leave it on for this video today, summary on Sui protocol, is the fact that we're seeing some pretty nice on-chain indicators for Sui as well in terms of daily active addresses. Again, I don't have every chain here. I'm just comparing Ethereum with Sui and Base. If we had Solana on this particular chart, it is essentially just dwarfing everything. I can bring it open here just for one moment. You'll see that Solana essentially dwarfs the other three chains when it comes to actual daily active addresses. So I'm going to remove Solana momentarily just so we can illustrate the increased activity that we're seeing here on Sui's blockchain. Again, Sui in this baby blue color, you can see a big uptick essentially since February of this year. Prior to that, we were averaging consistently, 500,000 to 600,000 daily active addresses. And since February, we're getting up here, February, March, and April so far, averaging much closer to 1.5 to 2 million daily active addresses on Sui's blockchain, with certain days getting up as high as 2.5 million. So I think this bodes pretty well for on-chain adoption. We're seeing more protocols built on top of Sui. I've done tons of videos on Turbos, SuiLend, Cetus, all these different native DeFi protocols where you can on-ramp crypto, provide liquidity, earn yield, and execute on-chain natively with Sui. Check those out on the channel. I will leave links for them at the top of the screen. But all of this indicates to some pretty good activity happening on Sui. With price action following, I think we could see a pretty good few months for Sui now over the coming quarter, and as we move into Q3 and Q4 of this year. So I hope that all makes sense, guys. Once again, if you are interested in providing liquidity and learning how to earn and generate income using the Sui blockchain, using everything on Sui itself, we do have tons of content and information over in the UIG. I'm going to leave a link in the description of this video. I'm helping tons of investors over here in order to generate yield, provide liquidity on Sui native dexes, just like Cetus and Turbos, using your liquidity to earn passive income, getting paid for providing liquidity. If you want to learn more, check out the link in the description for the UIG. There's actually a completely free course. Again, you can jump over and learn everything to do with the basics and fundamentals of DeFi liquidity provision. Check it out for yourself. Again, nothing in this video is financial advice, guys. I think Sui is poised for a very interesting couple of months ahead. Again, if you got any value at all out of today's video, it would mean the world if you gave it a thumbs up before you leave. Hit that notification bell icon, smash the subscribe button as well, and you've got a completely free copy of The Rise of Bitcoin waiting for you in the description. Grab it below, and we'll catch you in the next one.